absolutely mental. Just a quick story about this one. I was doing this model's portfolio and we went to Droridge Bay. And when she was posing there, the Sea Rescue came along and he obviously, he could see this model. Oh, hello, what's going on there? So he came in across the sea here, to see what was going on. So I went to pilot, down a bit, right a bit, down a bit, right a bit. Yeah! And I got that. Actually, if you look carefully, you can see them hanging out the door. So I did a 20 by 16 print and I posted off to RAF Boomer. And I said to the commanding officer, I didn't want to drop the lads in it. I said, oh, they were just flying past. I thought they'd like a print. He wrote back, he says, can you do another one? Because it's framed and hanging in the office now. And he says, would she like to be the airfield's mascot? And she said, no. I said, because I could have got free helicopter flights then. Just an interesting thought. This was another one that was a strange one. You can't see it, Tori. I don't know why that's happened. This is a double exposure, half exposed for the background, half exposed for the girl in. One with a girl in, one with a girl out, and you get the double exposure. But the interesting thing about this, when I put it in the competition, the judge wanted to give it 35 out of 30. And at the time, I didn't see why. Can you see what appears to be a skull there? That's actually a shoe. But when you're doing a 20 by 16 print, it's here. You don't see it. You've got to be 10 feet away before you see that ghost. But he saw the ghost, the skull, I should say. And I said, oh, I'm bloody clever, because I didn't even see it. If they turned around and said that everything you own is going to be destroyed, what one thing would you keep? The one thing I'd keep would be this. Because it's a picture of my wife. It's called Image of a Dream. It was just something that meant something to me. And of all my prints, every print I've ever done over all these years, that would be the one I'd keep. The rest could be destroyed. That would be the one I'd keep. Exposure. Right. If you are going to do studio work seriously, you need to possess a flash reader. The varying price, it shows how prices have changed. I think when I bought that one, when we bought this one, it was about 100 quid. I don't think they're that now though, but they were then. And you take a meter reading. Now, there is a technique to getting this balance of lighting correct. What I would do is, I would put all other illumination off. A lot of people worry about ambient light in a domestic situation. You don't have to worry about it. I would have my main light set, and I would take the meter. Now that's like the, what do you call it, the incident cone on the old meters. And a lot of people would point the cone at the camera. I never do that. You'll find there's about a quarter of a stop difference. I point the meter at the light, take the reading, set it till I've got what exposure I want, and hypothetically, let's say f8. I will set my camera on f8 and that'll not move until I change the lighting. Because that's the light, I want the skin tone correct. What I would then do is put the main light off. I don't want that influencing anything, and I would go to my background lights, put my two background lights on, put my two background lights on, and using a cloth, I would go to the middle of the floor, the middle of the paper, and point the meter at the camera, because both lights are equidistant. Just point it from the center of the background to the back of the model, and take the reading from there. And I would work out what I wanted to do with that. If I wanted a white background, I would balance those lights so I got a reading of f16. So then when I put my main light back on, I'm going to shoot at f8, correct exposure, and that'll overexpose the background by 2 stops. The most handiest thing you can use instead of a meter, and it'll cost you nothing, cost you absolutely nothing, is a bit of string. Bit of string is the handiest exposure meter you'll ever buy. We'll get it unravelled. Oh, why is it when you wrap them up, they always come unwrapped? Let's say you don't have an exposure meter. You don't have an exposure meter and you're not going to do enough to warrant buying one. Now, it doesn't really matter what kind of light you use, whether it's a studio light or a small domestic flashlight, it doesn't really make any difference. What you do is you get your piece of string and you tie it, and I'll be quite specific, to the flash head, not the flash stand. I'll explain why in a minute. Then, but he tied properly, man, you silly kipper. Cheap string, that's what it is. All fingers and thumbs. And with the cooperation of a model, you would take that bit of string and pull it to the bridge of the nose and tie a knot in it. Make sure you tie the knot in the string and not in the nose. Because it's not like that if you don't. You would then do a series of exposures, and with digital it's even easier because you can just check if it's right. And you might take 5, 6 exposures, and there's only be one of them that'll be correctly exposed for the skin tone. Now, again, let's say it's f8. So that's an f8 knot. Now, if then I wanted to take Jim's picture, in other words, a different night, different setup, different model, I put the light on Jim, I'd say, oh, that's the same distance. I'm too good, that's the trouble, because it is right. But if I'd set it there and said, oh, that's the same distance I had it when I did the test, and I stretched that knot to Jim, it's a good 18 inches short. So if I exposed that at f8, it would be incorrect exposure. Hold that knot, Jim. And I'd just normally ask the model, just take that to your nose, Jim. Right, let it go. I know that's f8. Let the string go. I know that's f8. Because I've tested it and tried it time and time again. Why I say you fix the string to the head and not the stand, if I had tied the string there, the distance from there to there is going to remain the same. But what happens if I put that light higher or lower? The distance of the light is changing, so make sure you tie it to this head and not this. If I drop that thing, that string's going to remain with the light. If I had it tied to that, which I'll never get the knot undone now because I cannot see the damn thing. If I tied it round there, for example, and I did the test from there, what happens if I did that? Or I lowered it down. That's changed its distance considerably. So always make sure you tie the string to the thing and just leave it there. When I used to do this, I had a while when my meter was broken down, I got an ordinary key ring, drilled a hole in there, and put one of them doggy clips onto the thing, clipped it on, took a reading, took it off again. Easiest exposure meter you'll ever do. And you can do it on any light. So if you did this 3-light setup, you would have 3 bits of string. You're not going to photograph the string, bit on there, bit on there, bit on there. Do your test, and once you've done it, you know it's accurate.